The perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters is the break between races of a doubleheader Saturday night. And that's just where we find ourselves currently. Streaming cyberspace into your place from Lanier National Speedway. It's the Virtual Rip Network's second round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, Season 29. 20 times before the BRLs have brought the late model hot rods to Lanier, 13 different drivers can claim career wins here in that machine. But only one of them is expected to be here tonight, and that is James Lowe. Take that stat and add it to the fact that Lowe found victory in the season opener, and you get something called a championship frontrunner. The only driver able to avoid incidents at North Wilkesboro was Aiden Young Gun Young, who finished just behind Holloway. Just behind Lowe. And we have some confusion on the people who wrote this script. Mark Herzog sits in third, but he doesn't have a lot of experience at this track. 4 starts, no top 5s yet. As for past champions, old-time Donnie Moore sits in fourth with the Canadian Goose John Wilson in fifth. Defending champ Bruce Pearson struggles to defend his crown, coming home 12th last week. But the bad news equates his good news as he starts in the front row this week alongside another champion, the Butcher Baton Rouge, Joe Snyder. There are several newcomers who are excited to watch, and there are several veterans ready to prove that they still have it. Words are cheap, especially the words that I just gave you. Actions have value. So with that in mind, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some simulated short track racing action about to stream your way. From the state, Ray Charles could not get off of his mind a warm Georgian hello and welcome on this Saturday night, January 11th, 2025. Ricky Harden-the-Wall Harden joins yours truly, Bill Soups on high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our bird's eye view and this very unorganized intro. Still in his baby New Year's diaper, I can't believe he still has it on, is Replay Ryan Seneker. With that said, let me turn it over to my partner, Ricky Harden. He's going to talk a little bit about this car track combination.
Absolutely, Soup. Lanier is a great place to see a race. It opened up as a dirt track in 1982, and they paved it a few years later. 0.375 mile oval. It is very difficult to get around this track. It's so little. And there's 2 grooves. You usually can use the high and low groove. I would say in the late model stock car, the high groove is not going to be preferred, but late in the race, it can come into play. There's a lot of banking here. It helps carry the car around the turn, and you really have to keep your momentum up in this thing. So fun place to see a race right across the street from Road Atlanta here in Brazelton, Georgia, and we're going to see what these guys can do.
Okay, because I confused you so badly in the intro, let's dial up the points and take a quick look at those. And you can see as we bring them on, it was indeed Mike Holloway that got the win in the season opener, not James Lowe, as was mentioned by one of the commentators up here. 5 drivers led laps last week at North Wilkesboro, and the only 2 of them sit in the top 10, and they are Holloway and Aiden Young. Mark Herzog picked up 18 spots to earn that final podium. Nobody has raced late model at North Wilkesboro more than Donnie Moore and Lowell Jewell a few spots farther down the list. Between Old Time and the Boss Man sits John Wilson and Trey Bloom. Expectations are high for the Lipper this season. Hopefully the pressure to perform won't get to Chris Hayslip's head. Top rookie is Ed Springer. And the quiet man, Ruben Altice, fills out the overlay. And that's going to bring us to our spotlighted driver tonight. And he's also the guest on this week in VGN Weekly. And it is none other than Scott Negus. Now, Simon and Poindexter in the smoke-filled back rooms of those Vegas casinos has set the number surprisingly high, with taking into account that Negus will be starting so far back in the field. They've set it at, 5.5. They have a lot of faith in Scott. Bet the under, Ricky, if you think he'll do 5th or better. Bet the over 6th or worse.
Well, I think the odds tell me that you got to take the over when somebody's starting this deep in a big field at a place like Lanier where it's really hard to pass. But Scott Negus leading the way in practice, so it's a tough one. But I'm gonna stick with the over just because I'm confident that there are things that can happen.
He is fastest out there in practice right now. And you want to know what's the difference between practice times of the guy who sits first? Well, Negus put in a practice time of 13.809, and Ruben Altice came in at 13.820. So really, they are very close. With that said, let's go to the grid right now. All right, it's Joe Snyder going to be starting on the pole. He's inside of Bruce Pearson in the number 22 car.
Ruben Altice is going to roll off in P3 with Ed Springer in the 16 machine rolling off 4th.
Expectations are high for Chris Hazlip. He'll be starting in the 5th spot inside of the boss man, Lowell Jewell.
The caveman, Trey Bloom, going to roll off 7th with the Canadian Goose. John Wilson to his outside 8th.
A lot of experience here for Donnie Moore in the 26. He's inside of Mark Herzog.
Aiden Young in that 69 red fire engine going to roll off in 11th with Mike Holloway to his outside in 12th.
Our top rookie on the grid is indeed Tim Carter. Watch out, he's quick. He'll be starting in the Baker-Studley spot inside of Todd Liston.
There's your over-under. Scott Negus, the Canadian, going to roll off in 15th with Steve Hilbert in that lime green number 52 machine rolling off in the 16th spot.
Steve's baby brother Tom will be starting in the 17th spot. Veteran Kurt Smith, 18th.
Bobby Hayes in number 13 will go 19th with Adam Shane in the 79 going 20th.
Hidden Blackjack, it's the Aussie driver Edward Foster. Outside of him, James Lowe.
Daryl Weiniger going to go off in the 23rd position with Chris Davis, 24th, and John Hine rounding out the field in 25th.
Here's the inside information on John Hine. He just did a broadcast. He was part of the SK Modified group. He had to hustle and get some tacos down himself, and so he's out there right now. I don't know if he's going to be able to go the distance with a belly full of tacos. Throw it over to Ricky.
That's a good way to get sick with 100 laps around here, but Joseph Snyder has control. There goes Bruce Pearson rolling way out ahead. That could get you in trouble, but it's going to be Snyder getting the advantage down into turn number 1, and he rolls out in front. Looks like Bruce Pearson is okay. He battles for that second spot with the 70 of Ruben Altice, who's inside.
Felt like Ed Springer had an elastic band on behind the number 22 there as he was going, then he got sucked back in. So that's going to be, Pearson is going to truck down into 3rd position. Springer doing his best to get inside of the 93.
Trouble with Springer. He gets turned by the 93. There goes Trey Bloom around. Donnie Moore involved. A lot of others. Scott Negus, our spotlighted driver, up into the outside wall. As you see, Todd Liston and Kurt Smith getting up in the air, kind of jacked up as the whole track gets clogged up here in turn number 4. Man, the leaders are coming back around. Let's see if these drivers can get turned around. Trey Bloom going the wrong way. Everybody just kind of waiting for these guys to get it figured out. Scott Negus gets turned around here, and there's Ed Springer turning around as well.
You know, Ricky, we had a big pile up last week. We got another one here this week.
Yeah, Hazlip was to the inside of Springer there, and he kind of didn't turn down into the corner, and Scott Negus kind of gets the worst of it there, slapping the outside wall. There was actually a couple other cars involved a little further up there with Mike Holloway and a couple others that I didn't see initially. So lots of drivers collected in this, but I don't see anybody with heavy damage. I'm not sure that we're going to have anybody with race-ending damage out of that. Trey Bloom lost a lap because he was pointed the wrong direction. Here you can see what happened with Holloway. He's the one that hooked Negus, and there you see Herzog turned around backwards, and Aiden Young also having to park it in front of Holloway right there, and Herzog kind of backed it up.
Let's take one more look at it through the cockpit of, we left our escape. We missed it. I was going to look at it through, we go back, let's look at it through Mr. Aggressive there, Chris Davis. He had a...
Oh yeah, he started way back at the back.
Yeah, he, basically this is a tiptoe through the tulips here.
Yeah, excuse me, pardon me. Stop right here.
There you go, that's it. And then he finds his way through.
Whoop, got
one more.
Red light. Safely makes it through. There was no excitement with that one, was there?
Yeah, that was an adventure. Okay, well, let's set the table for you here. Joe Snyder is out in front. He's led all the laps so far. There's 5 of them. Ruben Altice is up a spot from his inside of row 2. He's going to be starting on the outside.
Ooh, there's doubling up right here. We're going to go green as the pace car gets off. Everybody is getting waved back around onto the lead lap as the leaders are just now going into turn number 3, and the green flag's going to fly pretty early right here. And it gets extended, so the pace car's backed out. That was a good move by the boss man, Lowell Jewell, extending this caution because almost the entire field needed to wave around the pace car right there, and the pace car ducked out of the way. So, Joseph Snyder was about to get on the loud pedal right there. And here, I believe we're going to go green. Yes, the pace car back onto pit road, and under the control of Joseph Snyder, he gets on the loud pedal, and he's got Ruben Altiz to deal with to his outside, but he's going to be clear down into turn number 1. Altiz going to see if he can get in front of that double deuce of Bruce Pierce.
Bruce is doing his best to fight that off. Too wide behind him, and finally the outside line. Well, it works right now early on. I don't know if that's going to work later. I'm not sure how that works, but Altiz gets the best of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's the preferred line. I don't think it's where you want to be right now, but I think you can make it work. If you angle the car right and you get it behaving exactly how you want, you can make some moves up there, and you see Altiz was able to hold off the double deuce of Bruce Pearson, but behind them, Hazlip was on the outside, was not able to hold off Lowell Jewell, and nor was he able to hold off the 75 of John Wilson. He loses a couple of spots and falls back. Man, we've got some big movers already in this race. Take a look at John Hine. He's up from shotgun on the field after downing all those tacos all the way up to the 13th position. So up 12 spots already.
Taco power. Look at that, and there goes Hine underneath the Chief. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our spotlighted driver, who, no, you got a Simon and Poindexter to know what they're talking about. Racing in 7th, Scott Negus.
Yeah, we saw him turn around, slapped the outside wall, and looked like he got some of the worst damage out of that incident. And here he is running inside the top 10. That's just unbelievable. Up 7 spots after, just so many people being involved in that mess.
A lot of excitement going on through the field, but let's turn our attention up front. Ruben Altiz, who is usually...
Oh, caution. We got an incident on the front straightaway with Tim Corder, the number 60 car. He got turned around backwards on the front stretch. Not sure what happened to get him there, but we'll take a look at the replay and see.
I think Adam Shane and him were having an argument. Shane was tailing him. There you see the darker car come in. And there you go.
Yeah, Corder was kind of looking to the middle of the guys in front of him. He had the 69 of Aiden Young on the bottom and Steve Hilbert on the top. Corder looked like he had thoughts maybe about going 3 wide, so he kind of held it off the wall a little bit, and Shane probably expected him to be up at the outside wall.
Adam Shane's way of saying welcome to the series. The rookie having a hard time of it. Okay, we're going to dial up. I got to be careful about this. Make sure I'm up to level here. We're going to dial up the number 70 of Ruben Altiz. Let's see how he feels about starting on the outside. Ruben Altiz starting in 3rd position, racing in 2nd right now. Ruben, it's soup up in the booth. You got pace, but now you're on the outside line. Can you make it work?
I don't know. It's going to be tough on that outside line. I hope I can just get back into 2nd and go from there.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to get back to Bruce Pierce. I'm going to tell him to leave you room to get in, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Ricky, don't think he believed that.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. Clean up a couple things as we get the 1 to go signal. Trey Bloom right there got the free pass, gets back on the lead lap. That puts 23 cars on the lead lap. 2 cars with damage in that first incident. Darrell Weiniger has pulled it behind the wall. He's out of the race. Kurt Smith 6 laps down, but he is back out there on the track as we come down into the restart zone and into the hands of Joseph Snyder. He gets on the loud pedal and he gets away, and it's going to be Ruben Altiz trying to get down, just like he mentioned in the interview. He's got a gap. Bruce Pearson letting him in, but the caution flies right away as there's another wreck on the front straightaway. This one involving Adam Shane again. I see James Lowe involved in it as well.
This is Shane being gun-shy after what just happened to him. He was so worried about getting into the back of Steve Hilbert. Watch this. He checks up, and then he comes right back into the grill of Chris Davis.
Yeah, that's a classic restart stack-up right there. He had to get on the binders, or he was definitely going to get into the back of Hilbert right there. Hilbert left a little bit of a gap in front of him, so when they checked up, Hilbert didn't have to take, aggressive action there, but Shane did.
Well, let's talk to the Butcher of Baton Rouge. He's our leader. See how he's feeling about being out in front. Former champion. Butcher, it's soup up in the booth. They can't pass you if we race the whole thing under yellow.
Yeah, if we do the whole thing under yellow, I might have a chance. I feel like I'm running across the backyard with a bunch of pit bulls behind me and a steak in my back pocket.
All right, let's take a quick look and see how you did in practice. You were about mid-pack. You worried about the pace?
You know, I've never been comfortable at this track. I don't feel smooth here, so I'm just fighting for survival at this point.
All right, we'll keep an eye on you. Good luck.
Thanks, Sue.
Ricky, if he keeps the car down low and makes him go around the top, I guess that's the best strategy?
Absolutely. I think if you keep it stuck on the bottom lane, no one's going to be able to make that top lane work. Certainly, if we don't get a lot of green flag laps, the outside doesn't really come in. And we haven't seen many green flag laps here.
No.
Hey, Adam Shane pulled off the track after that last incident. So now we have 22 cars in the lead lap. And here comes Joseph Snyder into the restart zone. He gets in the lap pedal. Ruben Altis with a really good jump on the outside this time. He's going to stay almost even with him down into turn one. Oh, man, there's Lil Jules trying to get to the inside.
Well, last time Altis was worried about getting inside of the double deuce. Now he has to worry about getting inside of the single deuce. I'll spot for you, Ruben. You're clear if you want it. I don't know if Ruben wants to go down there. I think he's thinking about maybe rolling around the 39. This is interesting. Altis seems very comfortable. Snyder, based on that interview, maybe not as confident.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see side by side there between the 75 of John Wilson and the double deuce of Bruce Pearson. And there's our spotlighted driver, Scott Negus, getting to the inside of that double deuce. He's trying to move into the 5th position. That would be the under. He heard that it was 5.5, and he said, I'll get up to the top 5. No problem with that. And there he is. He's into the top 5 now. They're all single file throughout the whole top 10. The Hornet's Nest is back around Aiden Young and Hilbert. Oh, man, and in the middle comes Mark Herzog, making it 3 wide in turns 3 and 4.
Boy, they are still 3 wide. Underneath,
You say it.
That's the 88 in his new number, Mike Holloway in the Rocket 88, trying to get underneath the 57 of Herzog. Boy, there's more banging going around, but we stay green.
You say it every week. 3 wide doesn't work, guys. Don't do it. But they just did it. They did it for almost an entire lap, and they did get it sorted out. Everybody kind of gets away from that one. Just in front of that Hornet's Nest, John Hine and Edward Foster both got out of it right before that 3 wide situation. So good on them getting through the carnage and up into the top 10 position.
Look at that racing. Let's go to Altis. Here it is, Ricky. Call it.
Yeah, battle for the lead. Altis got a run coming off of turn 2 last time by. Got to the inside of Joseph Snyder. He's still showing a nose down there in turns 1 and 2, and he pulls along even with him off of turn 2. But that momentum on the top side really carries Snyder forward. This time he doesn't get down the track well, and that's going to give Ruben a great run.
Well, Joe Snyder was out there for 1/3 of the race until he had to surrender it to Ruben Altis, the quiet man. Altis had an unusually high starting position for him. He's in 3rd. Now he's out in front. All right, I may be an idiot when I ask this question, but being out in front, does that help keep the tires cool? I don't know if that's anything. Is that easier to race out there?
Well, you get to set the pace when you're out front. So that's the main thing. If you get out front, you back it down to the pace you want to run and you're not getting a lot of pressure, yeah, you save the tires better than you save them anywhere else because you are dictating the way that you drive the car and you're not having to bow to anybody else.
Well, if I'm looking at a story now, let's turn our attention as we look at that side-by-side battle now. Let's go to that one. That's the blue car of Bobby Hayes on the top side, the rainbow-colored machine of Chris Hazlick underneath. Hazlick having a great race. Yeah, he started in 5th, fell down a little bit, but picks that up. Hayes stuck on the top. Watch out for the number 4. Good day, Mike. That's Edward Foster.
Yeah, and he gets around Hayes as well, and he's always got speed. Every week we've seen him here with a lot of speed. John Hine following him through as well. Hayes can't get to the bottom and loses a lot of spots right here, and here comes Aiden Young to his inside as well, so he's going to continue to bleed spots as the caution flag is back out again, and it looks like there's an issue with somebody. Todd Liston, I'm hearing?
Todd Liston and James Lowe.
Yep,
just
on the back straightaway.
A little bit of a tap on the left rear quarter panel of the 87 was enough to pirouette him.
A little bit of contact to the inside wall from Liston, but I think he's going to be no worse for the wear. able to continue.
All right. When the man who pays the bills is sitting in third position, you got to give him an interview. Let's dial up the number 2 of boss man Lowell Jewell. Lowell, you're up front, and better yet, you're on an odd number.
I'm hoping to keep it that way till the end of this thing, too.
How hard is it to keep the car down?
It's not hard at all, as long as I don't have anybody pressuring me from behind. But I think if we just ride this out, the next odd number is 1. I'm not worried about that one till the end.
All right, we're going to drill down a little farther on that then. So passing Joe Snyder, if you had your way, you wouldn't mind seeing him tuck in front of you then?
Right, yeah. I let him have it the last time.
Got it. Good luck.
There you have it, Lowell Jewell. We're going to restart the third position. It's going to be Ruben Altiz with control. Kurt Smith got one of his 6 laps back on that on this caution flag period, so he's only 5 down. 22 cars on the lead lap as Altiz gets on the loud pedal and gets away. And there you see it. Lowell Jewell's going to let that 39 down in line in front of him. I got bad news for Lowell, though. He said as long as he doesn't get any pressure from behind, he'll feel okay. He's got Scott Negus in the 29 right on his back bumper. And before that caution flag, he also had the 75 of John Wilson putting a little pressure. And looking at pressure, there's the 29 looking to the inside, going down to the turn 1, not able to get there.
Let's go ahead and keep our attention on this battle for third. A little bit of Kentucky chess playing going on from the boss man there, as he said, we'll let Snyder down in there. But now he might have been better in second position, because I think the quickest way to a odd number might be second to go into third with Negus as a coming. Look at Negus. He's looking high, looking low, working both sides of the street like a jaywalking milkman.
He sure is. He's just looking for a way around. We got a hornet's nest a little further back toward the back half of the top 10, and it's going to be around the area of Bruce Pearson, who just goes into the outside wall. He's having some connection problems, so no yellow flag yet for that one. But there was a lot of beating and banging going on between he and the guys all around him before that happened. And now Ed Foster tries to get in line. There's the caution flag. I'm not sure what that's. It looks like it's for Bruce Pearson, who still sits on track as we go back and take a look.
Yeah, he kind of blinked away into the Amelia Earhart Bar and Grill that I think he may have came back on track. See, we're looking at nothing there, and then I think he shows back up. It's one of the glitches of simulated racing.
Yeah, that is a look of a hardware problem, as if something electrical or something computer happened that caused him to not be able to see where he was going.
And we're looking, and I believe that's going to be it for the defending champion. Boy, it's certainly not having the opening 2 races that he would have hoped for. Let's dial up the number 29 of Scott Negus. We'll inform him. Scott, we're not going to do you any favors, but you are the spotlighted driver, and Simon and Poindexter put you at 5.5, so you've hit the under. Can you get past these guys? You got anything left, or have you used it all up?
No, geez, buddy, I tell you, I'm trying to save, trying to be patient. I don't want to spin the boss out because I'll get in trouble. But no, it's really tough to pass here, buddy. It's really tough to pass.
All right, well, good luck. Hopefully you don't get stuck on the top side. We'll keep an eye on you.
Thanks, guys.
He's got John Wilson behind him.
Yeah,
I don't know if John's
going to
be
any favors.
Yeah, I don't think John's going to have the same attitude that Lowell Jewell had.
He may be a fellow Canadian countryman, but I don't think he's going to give him a line to get down. You know, he might like that 5th position, John Wilson, but you need to start making some hay. We're past the halfway mark now, hitting lap 53 as we come back down into the restart zone, and we're under the control of the 70. That's Ruben Altiz. He gets on the loud pedal early, and he's going to get down and away from these guys in a hurry as Joseph Snyder gets down in front of the boss man. Boss man runs up the track and gives a little bit of door to Scott Negus there through turns 1 and 2, and that's going to open the door for John Wilson to look low.
Negus is going to try to make the top side work. They bump again. Boy, Negus is almost forced to make it work because Wilson is right behind him. There's not really a gap. And how about Taco Power? John Hine back there in the 71.
Yeah, all these guys are going to look to get past Negus. Negus is fighting hard on the outside right here. He sees a shot at being able to get an odd number if he can get just nose out in front of Lowell Jewell before the next caution flies. And he is staying with him. He's going to have a big run down the front stretch, and look at him nosing ahead right here. Oh, this is going to be really tight between the two in turns 1 and 2. And Negus with a really good run off of turn 2. He's going to pinch the boss man down in turns 3 and 4 and get another good run.
Oh, that is some good racing. I'll spot for you. Clear. No. I'm glad he's not listening to me because the boss man put his nose back in there.
Oh, man, this is really tight racing. This is where your spidey senses start tingling because these guys are right on top of each other. Negus really crowds Lowell Jewell every time they go into the corner. Lowell runs up to the track and crowds the 29 machine exiting the corner, and he's going to feed him a door in turns 3 and 4.
Ricky, it's just a matter of time that since Negus couldn't finish it, it gets harder and harder each lap.
Yeah, it certainly does. The longer you're up there, the harder it is to hold. And here comes that 75 looking to the inside as Lowell Jewell continues to run Negus up the track. And that opens the door, like I said, for the Canadian Goose to get alongside of Negus. And this is where the tires start to get angry. They've been running under green flag. He's been running them as absolutely hard as he could on the outside lane for a few laps consecutively. And now it's going to get tough.
Whether he completes the pass on Wilson or not is pretty amazing. That was some great racing between Jewell and Negus, and now Negus, I think he's got the run, and now I think he can get it done.
Yeah, what a great run off of turn number 4. Really, Wilson gave him a lot of room. He went way down onto the apron every time he got down into the corner, and it really hurt his momentum. He couldn't get off the corner well. When you get down that low, a lot of times you'll upset the rear end, pull it out of the track, and you're not able to get the power down as well as you would like. But Negus, I don't think he's happy about the doors that he was fed there when they were side by side, talking about the boss man and Scott Negus. And he's going to be aggressive with the boss man if I had to guess.
I think Negus is going to try to break down the wall. He's got into the wall on the outside at least 2 or 3 times since I've been watching him. In that side-by-side battle, we talked about Negus using up his stuff. How much does Lowell Jewell did when he was forced to not be able to exit all the way out? Does that hurt as much? Less?
Yeah, absolutely. It hurts just as much. I mean, you're really burning the tires off when you're running side by side with guys, and that's what both of them were doing right there. So I expect that's going to hurt the tire wear a little bit. Negus gets to the inside of Lowell Jewell, but Lowell with a really good run. Negus going to shove it in there in turn 3. They're going to make a little bit of contact going through turns 3 and 4, but Lowell Jewell with the run off of turn 4.
Well, the tables have turned. Let's see if the 29 can stay off the 2 the way the 2 stayed off the 29. My goodness, and the 2's pinning them down just like Negus did when he was out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what Negus did when he was on the outside going into the corners. He would really pinch him down, and here comes the Canadian Goose of John Wilson. He's going to try to fill that gap under Lowell Jewell as well. No one going to cut that number 2 machine a break. He's going to be on the outside of the 75, but he's going to clear him off of turn number 4. He's going to come down in front of Lowell Jewell, and the battle is behind him now between Edward Foster and the 71 of John Hine.
Foster on the inside, Hine forced to go up. I don't know if he wants to be up there. He looks like he's doing okay. Great racing going on. This is the best possible news for the 2 guys out in front of Altice and Snyder.
Yeah, they've just driven away from this bunch, and they've got a 2-second margin over the rest of this pack. It's really tight racing right here between John Hine and John Wilson. Wilson has been struggling down there on the bottom, and I think that's what John Hine saw, and he got on that outside and said, man, if I could just get to the outside of him, no one else is able. Oh, man, he's not been able to hold anyone else off that got up there. But look at this. Wilson kind of pushed Hine up the track, and Edward Foster's going to get under the 75 machine in 3 and 4.
It's pointless if the yellow flag comes out, but if not, it's tower watching time. Look at the gap between Negus up to the top, 2.2 seconds. You know what, Ricky? As I look at the number 4 of Foster get around Wilson, if there's enough laps to go, 25, that's not a lot of them. Maybe a yellow flag. Foster could be somebody to reckon with, especially now he's in an odd spot.
Yeah, looking at the lap times, Foster is the fastest car on track the last time by. He was about a tenth faster than the leader. This time by about a half a tenth faster than the leader. And so he is closing that gap, but he's got over 3 seconds to close. And that's just simply not going to happen in 25 laps under green flag. It's just not big enough margins. But if we bunch this field back up, Edward Foster right now in an odd numbered position, he would be on the inside. He might have something to say about who wins this race.
Lowell Jewell sitting in fourth has to be saying, let's stay green all the way through. I'll take my fourth position. If it goes yellow, I'm stuck on the outside. Who knows what can happen? Making up absolutely no time is Scott Negus. I think he burned all of his stuff up when he was in those battles with Lowell Jewell. The quiet man, Ruben Altice, having it his own way. He has led 45 laps, another 20, and he'll pick up another win, I believe his second.
Yeah, Ruben Altice doing a great job out front. His lap times have stayed pretty good. He started to drop off just a little bit here in the last 2 laps.
Oh, Foster gets loose.
Oh, man, Foster about wrecks it right there. He's on the inside of Mark Herzog in that colorful Hawaiian-looking In-N-Out burger machine. And man, look at him. He's looking at the inside, Foster is, of Lowell Jewell. He gets a little bit of a run there going into turn 3, but he's not able to carry any momentum off of turn number 4. Now he's got to deal with Herzog.
Herzog is in trouble because if Foster can get underneath Lowell Jewell, then he's going to get pushed back. Look at Herzog work that outside. Boy, I tell you, those guys coming off of 4, they literally let it drift all the way up to the wall, sometimes against the wall.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to let the wall catch the right rear corner of the car. He's trying to get to the outside of Lowell Jewell, so Lowell can't slide up in front of him. If he's able to do that, he can pin Foster down, and he can make hay on the top. I think that's what he thinks he can do. He saw other drivers do it earlier, and with particularly the 75 of John Wilson, who continues to bleed spots out of the top 10 now. So, you know, that's what they saw, and I think that the 57 of Herzog really thinks that he can do that with Lowell Jewell. And here he goes. He gets to the outside.
Oh, this thing has 3 wide written on it. It's just there it is.
There it is. Yeah, Lowell leaving the bottom lane open. He really is forcing the guy on top, which is Herzog right now, up the track. He was doing that earlier as well, and that's what gives Foster a look. And sometimes Foster's just going to have a run and nowhere to go with it, so he's going to stick it to the inside. But, man, Herzog, he's going to get the job done on the outside of Lowell Jewell going down into turn number 3. He's going to have a good run off of 4.
Laps click away. That's wonderful for the quiet man, Ruben Altice. And look at this. Negus moves up into second.
Yeah, I wonder if lap traffic had anything to do with that, because Negus was still a good ways back, but he has turned up the heat. Fastest in practice, spotlighted driver. He caught Joseph Snyder and disposed of him as they come back to 11 laps to go on the board. He's got a 1 second gap, and the caution flies. There's an incident over in turn on the front straightaway, I believe. I don't see anybody stop.
Oh, it is the Aussie.
Oh, no.
And,
oh, man, that was just a half spin off the nose of the boss man of Lowell Jewell. There you see it. And a little bit of contact from John Hine right there straightens him back out, but that triggered the caution.
well, let's bring up our spoiler alert button here, because as we go through a replay, we just talked to Ed Foster. There we go. How you like that? We'll pull it down when you want to listen. We just talked to him in the last race. He finished a nice podium finish. Said, the last thing I want to do is get into the boss man. Well,
was the other way around.
The other way around. All right, pull it down.
And unfortunately, that's broken the left front suspension on the Edward Foster machine, so he's going to have to go to the attention of the crew, and he's losing laps as he does that. So tough break for Ed. He had such a good run, and honestly, one of the fastest cars on the track. If we had stayed green, he might have had something to say about this. But now, Scott Negus, he was the fastest in the last couple of laps there, and he was looking at the back bumper of that 70 machine. He was going to run him down.
Yeah, he was down to almost a tick over a second, and we watched the tower. It was about 2.2 seconds when we checked on it, even deeper than that. So he was coming. Not sure if the yellow flag is what he wanted or not. Let's see if the lights are on the pace car. They are not, so we'll not do an interview. We might want to watch out for the in and out machine of Mark Herzog. Boy, this is a good race.
Herzog had a lot of speed there toward the end of the run, and obviously so did the 29 of Scott Negus, but both of them trapped on the outside now. So let's see if they're able to do anything. Ruben Altiz holding them back in turns 3 and 4. Gets on the loud pedal. He gets away, and he's going to be clear of everybody going down into turn number 1. It's going to be the 29 of Negus to the outside of Joseph Snyder, and almost some contact behind them with Lowell Jewell and the 57 of Herzog, but they all get away clean as they come back to 5 laps to go.
And Negus clears Snyder, and now he can set his sights on Altiz, but the time is running out. Herzog gets around Lowell Jewell. Herzog puts it in the wall as Snyder pins him up high.
Yeah, almost contact between those two. Herzog really looking to the outside of the 39, not able to do anything, but it's all about Scott Negus. Can he close the gap on the 70 of Ruben Altiz? Ruben doing a really good job maintaining the gap and not allowing Negus to get to the back bumper yet.
1 mile to go, and the laps cannot click away fast enough for Ruben Altiz. He picked up his first career late model win last season. Let's get another one, he's saying. And he's only 2 laps away. Ricky, take us home.
Yeah, battle is for third. Herzog got to the inside of the 39 of Joseph Snyder. He's going to take that position, and there's a battle right behind them, but they're coming back to the white flag, and it's all about Ruben Altiz. Will he be able to hold off the 29 of Scott Negus? Negus within 1 car length off of turn number 2. He's going to have to dive it deep into 3. He's not going to be able to get there. Scott Negus is going to lose to Ruben Altiz off of turn number 4 at Lanier.
Mark Herzog gets third. And in the Baker's dozen, a big pileup after the yellow flag, after the checker flag. Hidden 13th is the caveman, Trey Bloom. Look for him to be on the pole for 5 flags next week. Woo, the racing is over. We're going to take a short break, come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to Altiz, Negus, and Herzog before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching No Trip Network. Let's see if the post-race show goes a little smoother than the pre-race show. Welcome back to Lanier National Speedway and VGN's second round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's late model Invitational Series. Season 29. The racing is done. The results are in. Let's give them to you right now. He started in third position. He stayed up front the whole time. He was able to make the pass for the lead, and when he got there, he stayed there for the final 67 laps. We're talking about the quiet man, Ruben Altice. He picks up his second career late model win. Scott Negus, our spotlighted driver, started in 15th. Simon Poindexter put it at 5.5. My partner, Ricky Harden, said, no way he can get there. Well, he proved him wrong, and then some, as Scott Negus gets a second position. The question is, did that yellow flag at the end hurt him or help him? Well, maybe he'll answer during the interview. Mark Herzog has a good run from 10th to 3rd as we round out the podium. Joe Snyder started on the pole, raced up 4th the whole time. I think he's going to be happy with the 4th. Mike Holloway, coming off a win last round, 5th here today. He's got championship fever. Lowell Jewell had a nice race, started in 6th, finishes in 6th. Taco Power goes to John Hine, 25th to 7th. Well to go, way to go, and tell the wife to cook him up again next week. Aiden Young, boy, he was quiet. Didn't get quite the finish he would have expected. He gets 8th. Mr. Excitement, Mr. Aggressive, Chris Davis in 9th spot. With Dole Time, Donnie Moore rounding out your top 10. Ricky?
James Lowe brings it home P11 with Todd Liston coming home 12th. The Caveman, Trey Bloom, he'll be our pole sitter next week, finishes in the Baker's Dozen spot. Ed Springer finishes 14th. Canadian Goose, John Wilson, man, couldn't catch a break there toward the end of the race. Fell back a ways on the outside lane all the way to 15th. Tim Corder finishes 16th after an early spin. Steve Hilbert comes home 17th. And Bobby Hayes 18th. Tom Hilbert 19th. And Chris Hazlip rounding out the top 20.
I got trouble, and that starts with T, and that rhymes with Foster? Hidden Blackjack, Edward Foster, another bad race for him. Kurt Smith, double duck position. Bruce Pearson in the double deuce, comes home in 23rd. Adam Shane and Daryl Cheesenweinecker at the very back. With that said, let's go ahead and dial up our race winner, Ruben Altice. Ruben, it took you a long time to get the first win, not nearly as long to get the second one.
Yeah, it felt good tonight. That was a fun race. This track reminds me of my local track. We got a 3/8 mile paved oval, and I don't know, just something about it. Just felt good tonight.
I want to take you right to the end. Negus finally gets around the driver in second to have nothing between you and him. He starts to run you down, but the laps were ticking away. Were you happy with the yellow at the very end, or was that something you were not enjoy?
Hey, I didn't enjoy that at all. I had a good lead, and I was like, oh, shoot, here we go again. But thank God it all worked out.
You got a good start, and then Negus got tied up with Snyder. They had to fight it out. Herzog finally ended up with that podium. Congratulations, man. It was a pretty good weekend for you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's been really fun this weekend, and I got to thank Lowell and the BRL and the Virtual Grip Network for putting this on every week so we have somewhere to race. It's a lot of fun.
It is indeed. It's fun to watch. Congratulations on the win. Well done. Ruben Altice, your winner here for round 2 at Lanier. Ricky, who you got?
Well, I caught up with our spotlighted driver, Scott Negus. He brought it home in the second spot, and I gotta ask you, Scott, about the mid-race restart where you started on the outside and you battled with Lowell Jewell for what seemed like forever. I'm sure it felt like forever on the outside. Tell us about that.
Yeah, he was. I was trying to pinch him down, obviously, to get a run on him, and because these cars are so tight, I mean, he was sliding up into me. I was trying to get to you think you get the run, and you look in your mirror and your spotter's saying clear, and then you go in the turn, and next thing you know, car inside. So you gotta give the room, because it was way too early to try to be aggressive that way. But Lowell held on to it, and I ended up getting by him eventually. But it was a tough gig, that's for sure.
No doubt. You ended up having to cross under and get him on the inside. And do you feel like that wore out too much tire to be able to run down Ruben Altice at the end?
Yeah, I was really trying to save my right front. But the only way to get underneath anybody was to burn the right front right off. It wasn't so bad getting in, but the exit on it was really tough on it. I could feel it.
Well, you did a great job to get up to P2. It's a lot of positions gained, plus 13 on the night. So great job on that, and it sure was a lot of fun to watch. You'll enjoy going back and listening to us call that battle.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome.
There you have it. Scott Negus finishes P2 tonight. Who you got?
I got Mark Herzog in third. Mark, talk about scratching and clawing your way to third place. Man, you really had to work hard to get there. They were a battle with Snyder, battle with Lowell Jewell. It was tough. Got a copy, Mark Herzog? Are you there? Do we not have a copy? We'll give him a few more seconds to see if he can get it worked out. What that? I think we might have lost him. Well, what he was going to say, he had a fine battle there with Snyder and Lowell Jewell, and he started in 10th position, comes home in third. I think he's going to be happy with that. Go on out and support the sponsor, get an In-N-Out burger here. Help you sleep tonight. With that said, let's dial up when and where we're going to be back next time. Bring it up right now, and you can see Five Flags Speedway for the late models. That's going to be Saturday night at the late time from 9-10 p.m. Eastern. Before then, we got the Red Light Racing SK Modifieds every Thursday night at 7:55. I'm going to be doing that one with J.R. Shepard. You don't want to miss it. We're going to Langley, and I'll tell you the story of the fake moon landing there that happened at Langley. It's a good story if I have time. You don't want to miss it. Those broadcasts, past broadcasts, future broadcasts, are all a production of the Virtual Grip Network. With that said, I'm going to go into the closet, give you a hat, no hat. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.